Good evening. Happy Wednesday. Happy midweek. Happy mid-month. We're not there yet. It just feels like March has been going on forever, but I'm not sure where February went. So it's the middle of something, anyway. We meet together on Wednesday nights at 7 to celebrate our lives and what's been happening so far this week, and perhaps to lay a foundation for an even better rest of the week. This is about getting in touch with your own magnificence, your own spirituality, and the power of spirit within you. And there's nothing better. So, this is what we do on Wednesday nights. Welcome to Wednesday night and Wednesday Matters. Hello, Tina. Glad you're here. Did you hear Spirit? Yeah, you probably did. He was here a minute ago. He's touring right now, so he should be back around any time now. Hello, Dana. Glad you're here. Happy Wednesday. Hope everything is going well with you. Jennifer's here. Thank you, Jennifer. It isn't just me. Doesn't it feel like March has been around? I keep looking at the calendar and thinking, oh, it must be. Oh, no, it's not. I can't believe it's only the 3rd. But again, like I say, I'm not sure where February went. I mean, I know it's a short month, but come on. It feels like it was incredibly short this year. And it was longer than usual, so go figure. It's leap year. It's leap year. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit tonight, so I'm not going to go into it too much now, or I'll end up giving my whole talk and have nothing left to say. And that wouldn't be a very good thing.
That would never happen.
You're probably right. Happy Wednesday, Lainey. Glad you're here, darling. I will answer your email, but just to let you know, yes, and thank you. I just have not gotten around to email at all the last couple of days. Every time I think I'm going to do something intervenes. It's been an intervening kind of week so far. So, speaking of which, here's the little intervener himself. He discovered the fireplace. Want to know how we know? We have a new fireplace screen now, because it used to be just the screens, the mesh screens. And not only did he discover the fireplace, he discovered how to move the screens. And our pure white and dark gray, now kind of 50 shades of gray. We'll show you if he wanders by, but whoo. So Tina, I've been praying. How are things going? How are things going? And good evening, Kirk. Kirk's with us tonight. Yay! Yay! Oh, goody! We've been missing you. Yeah, I actually, Lainey, have been in contact, texting, if you will, me texting, with Ginny. So I knew she was home, and I knew she's healing, and yippee. Prayer works. We're going to keep praying. She's on my ongoing for now list, which means I don't expect her to stay on the list for long, but right now she is. So we're not going to kick her off just yet. Yeah, I gotta love the fur babies. Dana. Yeah. Even the gray ones. We didn't think we had another gray kitty, but right now we... All parts of him are still very white. The parts that didn't get involved. He has one paw, the middle finger of which I'm not going to demonstrate beyond that, is black. And we figured out that he had done that, but hadn't figured out how to stop him from doing it again until he did it the second time, and then we got smart a lot faster. But today they delivered the new fireplace screen, and it's all glass, so he can look at the scene of the crime, but hopefully can't get into it. Um, oh, Tina, I'm sorry you're still waiting. Don't implode. Don't implode. All good things are worth waiting for and taking time. So, deep breath. Okay, good girl. Yeah, Lainey, it is. It's real good news. I'm being looked at upside down by an upside down cat. It is very good news about Jenny, I think. Um, that she's home is good. You know, you always feel better. Hospitals are. The only person I ever knew actually liked and thought they were just cool places to be was my mother, who was certifiably wacky. Um, I think we're going to be okay with the fireplace now, Tina, having put a whole new screen. It's a glass, sits on the hearth in front of. Um, I don't think, and I've put heavy objects at the base of it so he can't like reach around and push it. However, if we hear glass breaking in the middle of the night, we'll know what it is. Prayer requests. Prayer requests. I've been busy praying this week and I'm really enjoying it. So, give me some work to do. You guys are so cute. You are. All of you. Just plain beyond cute. You're beautiful. But right now you're cute. And I love that. We are kind of remodeling for Spirit. I was standing in the kitchen the other morning thinking they're running the house. They collectively are running the house and as a byproduct, of course, our lives. But this newest addition, is running everything. Tipsy is infatuated and tries to chase him. Spirit's faster than Tipsy, which is a good thing, I think. I'm not sure what Tipsy would do if he caught him, and I don't think I want to know. Mostly, I think he just wants to chase him. But Spirit's really paying attention to what's going on and stays just ahead of him, and then taunts. One of the first words that Cat taught Spirit was taunt, and I'm not sure it was a good idea. Because I think instead of deciding that he shouldn't do that, he's decided that he's really very good at it. So there you go. There you go. Hi, Heidi. Glad you're here. No, Tina, it was never really a question, but I wish it was. Okay, Dana, if you want to tell everyone, that's fine. If not, please email me and let me know and what I can be praying for. Please, please. Got lots of love surrounding you here, so keep us posted. Let me know what's going on. What else do I want to say before I launch into anything else? Happy Wednesday. Isn't it amazing to do with the vaccines? The date is all now moved up to May, which I think is great for those people who want to have it. I really do. I think it's fabulous that everyone there should be enough out there for everyone that wants it by the end of May. Wow. Wow. Cognitive neuro impairment. Mild case. Okay. Okay, Lainey got that. Hold on, going to write Carla down. Okay, thank you all for being patient with me. But I love to pray, and I love to write them down. If I write them down, I own them. I don't have to carry a piece of slip of paper around with me. But if I don't write them down, sometimes. So thank you. So, what's going on in your lives? What uh, what amazing things do you want to share with all of us? Or what not so amazing things do you want to share with all of us so that we can support you in what is going on in your life? And I wonder what our closing music will be. It's a surprise to me every week. You guys are getting good at getting in on it, though. I like that. You really are. I can't, I don't have time to race off and do that. I wish we could play it. I wish we could actually play it as part of our broadcasting here, or narrowcasting, or whatever it is they call this. Um, but if I played it as part of the show, Facebook would cut us out because we don't have legal permission to do that. Isn't that silly? And we can all listen to it immediately afterwards. But that's the way it is. So just keep those ideas coming, and we will tap it the second the show is over, and it'll be our closing music. Works beautifully. Oh, Jennifer. Okay, gotcha. It's funny, your mom was on my mind today. She really was. I mean, just, I guess because I kind of never took her off my personal prayer list. Um, but today she really stood out. So, yeah, we'll superpower the prayer work. And for you as well, because that's what I do. Well, of course your annual review was really good. I would expect nothing less. Yeah, that kind of, isn't it funny that this outside feedback sometimes just makes, it's what we need. We can tell ourselves some great stuff, but there are places where we can really appreciate um, where it's coming from, and their feelings about us. So good, yay. Well, Kirk, I'm looking at what you've written and thinking, there's a whole lot of the old normal I think we don't even want to get back to. We've had a chance to stop and think and learn to appreciate and learn what's valuable in our lives. And I think we want to hold on to some of that. Don't you think? And yeah, I think kids back in school is a good thing. Um, I'm getting mixed reviews from my grandkids. One of them likes it and the other one's not so sure, the way things are right now. But they're both really good students, so it's not that. Um, it's just personality differences, probably. What works for some doesn't work for others. Gee, how unusual is that? Oh, Laney. I don't think I realized that Ayla was a Virgo. I'll pray for you. I believe everyone should have one. But when it's your child, it's a little trickier. Because they want to rule the world and are highly qualified to do that for the most part. Don't you think? I do. And I'm not a Virgo. I'm not a Virgo. I'm a Libra who can appreciate Virgos. Ooh, Tina. Most expensive single vet visit, non emergency category. No vet visit is ever inexpensive. Yeah, Jen, I think that's it more than else. You feel seen and you feel that someone is appreciating what you're doing, and we can all use some appreciation. Don't you think? I think so. Gee, Tina, when our cats get stoned out of their minds, they usually just go to sleep. She's dealing with the dragon, huh? Well, you have told her, of course, that dragons are good and friendly and do good in the world. Go have that talk with her. We'll wait. She needs to know that dragons are good. Yeah. Yeah, Kirk, I get it. I get it. Both as I said, both of my kids are doing real well. They're keeping their grades up and doing fine and getting stuff in on time. But I do wonder what they're missing in terms of actual learning that they would get if there was a teacher sitting there looking right at them saying, you don't really understand this, do you? Or let me make this clear. Those things that teachers do intuitively that I think are probably much more difficult to do via Zoom. I appreciate Zoom. Well, the Zoom gods, don't strike me dead. I appreciate you. I think you're wonderful. But I'm not sure it's a substitute for real people in person stuff. Yeah. Well, Tina, you may have to tell her again. Dragons are good. Dragons are friendly. Yeah, socialization is what my kids are missing the most, I think, although they have created a fair amount of that on their own. So anyway, why don't you just keep talking amongst yourselves? And don't forget prayer requests, please. Keep me out of trouble, keep me praying. And let me get on with what I want to talk to you about tonight. Just because I want to. Ah! Oh, hold on. That wasn't what I wanted to do. Well, it was what I wanted to do, but it didn't work. So, hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I found it. Okay, so I want to warn you right up front that there are some images in this talk, well, in this first little part of the talk, that may be upsetting to those who are sensitive to poultry. Kidding.
Poultry?
Poultry.
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 Rock, that kind.
chickens and stuff. Yeah,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
So a man had failed at everything he tried to do in the city. He just couldn't make his life work. So he decided to move to the country. And thanks to a great article that he read in a magazine, start a chicken farm. So he bought a farmhouse with land around it, and after he moved in, he bought 200 chickens, but they all very quickly died. This is the sensitive part. So he bought 200 more chickens with the same horrible results. Puzzled and distressed, he wrote to the county agricultural agent and described everything that had happened. He concluded his letter with this: I want very much to be a successful chicken farmer. Please help me. Have I been planting the chickens too close together? The county agent wrote back and said, I can't answer your question until you send me a soil sample. Okay, so both of them qualify for the standard 2 sandwiches short of a picnic, 2 cards short of a deck, 2 tacos short of a combination plate. And my only question about all of this ultimately is, why is 2 getting such a bad rap? So the month of February, as we were saying earlier, just left us. It went quickly, really quickly. But then, of course, I suppose it would, since it only has 28 days compared to the other months with 30 or 31 days, which makes it consistently the shortest month of the year. And there are those who say, behind its back, of course, that having only 28 days most years, February is 2 days short of a month. But it isn't. I mean, really, it isn't. Sure, it's not 30 or 31 days like all the other months, but it's a real month, and it has been for a very long time. The Roman month Februarius was named after the Latin term februum, which means purification, after the purification ritual Februa, which was held on February 15th under a full moon in the old lunar Roman calendar. There, see? If nothing else, you've learned something tonight. And this year, as happens every 4 years, February broke all the rules, pulled out all the stops, and went and had 29 days, which makes it only 1 day short of an average month. We have a really fabulous friend who is a leap year baby. He's the author of more New York Times bestsellers than I have ever been able to keep track of in the 30 or so years that I've known him. But by my reckoning, he officially turned 12 or 13 this year. I can't keep track. So is it wrong that he's accomplished so much in his 12 years? Or is it wrong that he only gets a real on his birthday party every 4 years? And this year, because of the pandemic, which is what got me thinking about all of this to begin with, he didn't get a party at all. I want to figure out how to make that up to him. I can tell you that it may bother me, and it does, but it doesn't seem to bother him. It hasn't stopped him, and he is certainly no less for it. He's wonderful, however old he officially is. Thank God. All of which got me to thinking about things, and the realization that if we focus on what is not right about something, we'll never make the mental room for what is right. Is it taking too long? Is it inconvenient? Is it whatever that is negative? If we focus on that, then we'll never have the room in our minds and hearts and spirits and creative power for what is right. If we focus on what we haven't got, we'll always be have-nots. If we live with a running calculator of all of our mistakes, we'll never get into the plus column. Look, R.H. Macy of Macy's failed 7 times before his store in New York caught on. The novelist John Creasy got 753 rejection slips before he published 564 books. Babe Ruth struck out 1,330 times. Oh, yeah, and he hit 714 home runs. They didn't get stuck on what was working. They didn't get stuck in their failures. Self-condemnation, or condemnation in general, is detrimental to our spiritual welfare. A theological state of mind common to all of us of personal distrust, one of our most insidious mental diseases, is morbid, it's destructive, and it's a mistake. There's a story about a minister who insisted that he couldn't tell a joke, and a friend told him a good one that he could tell in church because it was clean and everybody would relate to it. But he argued, I can't tell a joke. But his friend insisted, he persisted, and eventually he convinced the minister to tell it the following Sunday anyway. So here's the joke. I may have told it before. A man's last request was that when he died, he'd like to be buried in a white suit in a white coffin with a white caisson pulled by 6 white horses through town to the cemetery. They wrote it all down. And when he died, he was buried in a white suit, in a white coffin, placed on a white caisson pulled by 6 white horses that were going to go through town toward the cemetery. But then a white rabbit ran across the path of the entourage, and the 6 white horses all reared up. The caisson broke away and rolled down the hill, crossed the highway, back into town, down the main street, over the curb, and hit the drugstore window, which caused the coffin to slide off, crash through the window, careen down the aisle, and hit the pharmacy counter, making the coffin lid fly up and the body sit up and say, "Have you got something for this cough?" The congregation just sat there, waiting, silent, nothing. See, the punchline should have been, do you have something to stop this coffin? We all make mistakes. But fear and self-condemnation, distrust of ourselves, does us no good. In fact, it just makes more insidious the thing that we're complaining about. A real story. Same story, really, second chorus. My friend, a fellow minister, was going to speak at Asilomar. And at dinner the night before, he kept saying, I can't tell a joke. And we kept saying, put a little humor in your talk. I can't tell a joke, he said. And he was kind of notorious for being a great human being, but not very funny. But he thought maybe he had found one he could tell. So he ran the joke past us at dinner. The Buddhist monk walked up to the hot dog vendor and said, "Make me one with everything." Okay, so if you're into that kind of thing, you get it, don't you? It's not hilariously funny, but then neither was he. Well, it wasn't the greatest joke on record. It was short and sweet, and he actually told it pretty well. We all encouraged him to use it in his talk. The problem was the next day, when he was speaking to all several hundred of the retreat participants, he ended the joke with, Give me one with everything on it. Again, silence. Again, nothing. Nobody laughed. And he got to prove that he was right, didn't he? Truth is, fear creates circumstances to be fearful of. If we live believing that we must make mistakes, we will continue to make mistakes. And we will always come up short. Not because we have to, but because we have, in fact, created that. There is no question that at some time or another we have all done that which was not for the best. So we've fallen short of our divine potential. But we are not short on promise or possibility. Not ever. We have not been shortchanged. We can have it all because we already have all we need. We just need to know that. In the King James Version of the Bible, Matthew 6:4 says, "Stop worrying." Oh, okay, so specifically what it says is, "Take no thought for tomorrow, for tomorrow shall take thought for the things of itself. Sufficient unto the day is the evil thereof." The NIV, New International Version of the Bible says, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." Now, it seems to me that in its entirety, that kind of thinking doesn't really help much. But what if it said, "Do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will take care of itself. Each day has plenty enough good of its own." What we demonstrate today, tomorrow, and the next day is not as important as the tendency which our thought is taking, the dominant attitude of our mind. That attitude will then absolutely affect our demonstrations. It will absolutely change our reality. Have no fear of tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself, especially if you take care of today. Live today. Refuse to carry the mistakes of yesterday into the present moment, and then every day will be a little better, a little happier, a little more peaceful. It will. Someone once said, if you really want to succeed, form the habit of doing the thing that people who are failures don't like to do. Like thinking successfully. How simple is that? If every day we are thinking happier, if every day we are expressing more faith, more joy, more love, more understanding, then we're going in the right direction. The day, today, the today in which we live is sufficient because the God within each of us is sufficient. All day, every day. So the point is, it doesn't matter how it's been up until now, or even where you are right now. What does matter is what you believe, who you believe you are, where you believe you are going, and how you plan to get there. See, it's not about knowing how it's going to happen. We get so hung up in the how, don't we? We start out with, I would love this to happen in my life, which is great. Then we should just claim it. But the problem is, the minute somebody says just claim it, we turn around and say, how's it going to happen? We get all hung up in the how, which stops the whole process of simply claiming and expecting. Not knowing how it is going to happen, but knowing that you go with God, and with God, all things are possible, is what makes it happen. I know it seems simple, and we get all hung up on that's too simple. Why is it wrong if it's too simple? Hmm? There's a law of unfoldment in each of us, a law that absolutely cannot be broken. And that law decrees that we can only get to where we would like to be if we go from the place where we are. See, I think all too often we say, well, okay, I'll believe that, or I'll claim that, or I'll see that as soon as I get to there. You're losing precious time, which is only the least of your problems. Claim that you are there from here and make here all right. Please just take a moment and see that where you are is perfect. See where you are. The place is perfect because you are there, even if there is the bottom. Because we all need something to push off of. We cannot make where we are wrong, because in doing so we make ourselves wrong. And in doing that we betray the divine presence in which we live and move and have our being. If we are wrong, we don't trust ourselves to make things right. We don't believe we can. We've got to see the process, the footprints in the sand that have led us to where we are in the moment, and see them all as good, even the things which in the moment seem to be very, very not good. We've got to see ourselves in this moment as the product of all of that thinking and all of those decisions and all of those seemingly right and wrong things that have put us right here in this moment, so we can hear what we need to hear in this moment, get it, and move on. The way to begin is to begin right where we are and push up from there. We must constantly apply ourselves to exercising the truth of the presence of God. And we will, in time, increase in wisdom and understanding and experience until we grow and become that which we dream of becoming. Practice, practice, practice. We have a grand opportunity ahead of us. Each of us. If day by day we have a greater understanding, if day by day we have a more open heart and mind, if day by day we have a quieter mind, and a clearer knowing of our relationship with God, if every day we realize more of the truth and apply it, even a little more, then we are on the right path. And eventually we shall arrive at the place where we want to be. It's a grand adventure. Really, it is. It's exciting, and it is sometimes scary. It is filled with wonder and surprises. And it is all good. In the words of T.S. Eliot, we shall not cease from exploration. And at the end of all of our exploring will be to arrive where we started and know the place for the first time. Hmm. I'm reading your comments. Oh, day by day is a good choice, Dana. Day by day. Dana and I have been known to stand on street corners and sing. Sober. Well, we both like to sing, and both of us pretty much know all the words to all the songs written in the 60s and 70s. After that, I'm lost. 50s, 60s, me, Dana can do 60s and 70s. I agree with you, Jennifer. But T.S., yeah, one of my favorites, all-time favorites. It's a great musical, isn't it? Yeah, day by day from God's bell. That's it. No worrying about tomorrow. Tomorrow will take care of itself if you take care of today. That's the whole point, isn't it? I know, Dana, it's terrible to share secrets with me because sooner or later I blab. I used to say that in church, if any of you started out like really early on, I mean, I was there for almost 20 years. If you took notes, you'd know my whole life story before you left. Just comes a little bit at a time, especially Wednesday nights, which of course is where Dana started, so she knows a lot. I have to be good to her. So, if my friend can write New York Times bestsellers when he's only 12, technically, and if he isn't bothered by the fact that he doesn't get a birthday party every single year, in fact, he says because it's only once every 4 years, people tend to forget altogether. What are you complaining about? You certainly can't use age to explain why things aren't working, can you? Somebody once said a minister's job was to comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable, and frankly, I'm much more at home afflicting the comfortable. Good question, Heidi. I love the way your mind works. So Heidi says, is good enough really good enough, or is it our own lack of confidence? Well, it depends on where you set the bar, doesn't it? I mean, if the bar's here, then good enough. My question, is it really good enough for you? Really? If you stop and go within and say, okay, spirit, okay, wisdom, is this good enough? Is this the best that I am capable of? Or have I set the bar low so I wouldn't be disappointed? And am I just trying to get myself out of this? If you're trying to get yourself out of it and you really just want out, then just get out. But if you really want better, if you really believe that the situation or the person or you deserves better, then good enough is not good enough. It's a very personal choice, isn't it? Oh, Lainey, for sure. Um, been in a very similar situation with probably our all-time favorite cat. He was healthy when we left. We had made a comment about, gee, he seems to be slowing down a bit, but he was only 3.5. And he died while we were in Ireland, and we felt awful. And I understand the guilty feelings and the sadness because we weren't there, but it was the same thing. The cat sitter found him, and he died of a heart attack. So I can really sympathize and really relate, and for sure we'll put them on because I know how they're feeling. Chris and Ayla. Chloe. Okay, you betcha. Well, see, there would be that, wouldn't it be, Heidi? Wouldn't there be? Sometimes good say rather than saying, because we don't want to take credit or we don't want to look like we're bragging. That's really a whole different matter. Um, sometimes what you're saying is good enough is spectacular. Yeah, and it is good enough for anyone or anything. Good enough to be an offering to God, which in fact is what a creative gift is, isn't it? Isn't it? A thank you gift to God. Yeah, I think sometimes we just need to recognize that false modesty doesn't serve anybody either. Say, yeah, isn't it great? It's good enough. Ah, isn't it great? Isn't it wonderful? Thank you, Spirit, for the idea, for the plan, for the execution, for the final product. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're welcome, Lainey. Ah, it is all God. Sometimes it's hard to see that, but we have to keep looking. Comes the day, I think, for all of us, when we get that it really is all God, and so it's all good. But it takes time to get there, and we don't always stay there once we've arrived. Kind of back out and say, well, it was true of that, but it's not necessarily true of this. Um, it was applicable in that situation, but I don't know if it's applicable in this. It's always applicable. It's all good because it's all God. It doesn't get any better than that. Why would we not want that? What might your life look like? There's a homework assignment for you. there's your homework assignment. Practice. Just reminding yourself. It's all God. Tomorrow, right? Make yourself a big sign. Put it on a post-it. Stick the post-it up. Stick several of them up. It's all good because it's all God. Stick one on the mirror so that the first thing you see in the morning is the post-it before you look at your face and go, oh, what's that? What's that? What's that? What's that? It's all good. It's all God. Oh, we have yet another song. Okay. On spot. Tomorrow will take care of itself. Yes. On Spotify. Okay. Let's pray. Shall we? You know the drill. Close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. If not, just soft focus so that you're not staring at me, but looking within. Because it's so beautiful there. Past the troubles, past the frustrations, past the concerns. Let's just get past all of it like you're walking down a hallway. Each door has something of meaning. Some you recognize as good, some you're not so sure, but it doesn't matter. You're walking down the hallway. And the hallway goes on and on. And you know that where you are going is good, is safe, is loving. There's a room now at the end of the hall. And place your hand on the door and gently open it. And know that inside that room all is good, because all is God. And a wondrous world opens up in front of you. A world filled with beauty and love and understanding. Things that you recognize and things that you don't even recognize, but you know must be good. Because all that there is in this room is God. And God is good. And I want you to spend a moment or two looking around in this room and selecting things to bring back with you. The minute you touch them, they shrink down to a very portable size. And you discover that at your feet there is a bag which you can put them in, and so there's no limit to what you can take. And if it still seems too big to go in the bag, just touch it again, and it will shrink down to a size that easily goes into the bag. What is there there? There are material things, and there are physical things, and there are mental things, and there are spiritual things. What will you choose? That bright bouquet of flowers to give to someone you love. That book of poetry to lift your soul. That sunset to help you remember the colors that God can create. That job opportunity that you've been waiting for, it's all there because it's all God. What can you imagine that you would like to take with you from this amazing room? Take a few moments now, look around. Choose what you will and touch it. And then put it in your bag. There's no limit to what you can have. And while you are gathering things, I will simply say a little prayer. Knowing that each one of you is unlimited. That each one of you lives and moves and has your being in the presence of creation itself. That each one of you is immersed and surrounded by and permeated with love and understanding, wisdom, joy. that laughter is your companion, that a smile is your makeup, that a twinkle in your eye that reveals the presence of God is always visible. That there's no situation you cannot handle and no person that you cannot bring over to your side, and no situation which is out of your control, not ever. I know that to be true for you. I know it. And so with a deep sense of gratitude, I simply say thank you for all of these gifts, for the wonder of your lives, for the joy and the love that you give out so freely, for the gentleness of your touch, the immensity of your caring, the truth of your life. For all of that, I am deeply grateful. And simply let it be so. And so it is. And now it is time to leave this amazing room. You can always come back, you know. You take it with you wherever you go. So knowing that you can return if you have forgotten anything, or you can return anything that you wish you hadn't taken. It's easy. Just walk back down the hall and open the door, and there you'll be. Easy returns if necessary. Easy more purchasing. And all you have to pay for any of this is in mental and spiritual coin. You simply have to give up the idea that it isn't possible and recognize that it is. So we leave now, putting our hand on the door, opening it and walking through, taking our wonderful bag with us. And walking back down the hall, we recognize that many of the signs on the doors have changed, and that it all seems to be good now. I wonder how that happened. And we walk back down the hall, back into the room where we started, the room where it happens. And we give thanks for the magical room within us, but even more so for our belief in it, and for the bag of wondrous goodies that we have brought with us. Oh, it's all invisible right now, but it will soon be real. You've brought it here. You've believed in it. And so it is. And so we just let it be. Lainey, you're on it tonight. You know the old joke about if you were arrested for being a religious scientist, would there be enough evidence to convict you? I'm kind of thinking we'll change that to if you were arrested for being a religious scientist, would you have enough post-its to convict you? Thank you all for being here tonight. You make my Wednesdays rich and full and wonderful, and I love you very much. Come on back on Sunday. Bring friends. Come on. We gotta grow. And besides, how many people do you know that could really use this kind of a message? And if they tell you they just don't do Facebook, and I know I've got a lot of friends who don't do Facebook, but then they go to YouTube and listen there. They can't participate, they can't jump in and chit chat the way we can, but they can still listen to the talk and see what a great community this is. And that's good. That's God. You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Kirk, I love you. Everybody have a good rest of your weekend. I'll see you on Sunday. Much, much love.